the man said a lot of different. He made a lot of statements about a lot of different things. From COVID to gender roles and everything in between. Some of the comments he made, for example, uh, he said that.
5, 4, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Fever Pitch Podcast. I'm your co-host Brian.
Nandan, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. A lot has happened. We have a lot to talk about. What's going on right now?
Well, to get things started, I wanted to quickly touch on the Ryan Garcia situation. Most of you know, he fought Devin Haney about a month ago. Well, like 5 weeks ago, and he got the victory. But there's been so much controversy in the after the fact. He's tested positive for PEDs. He denies he was using anything that would be considered wrongful or illegal substances or whatnot. But he also missed weight during the fight, so he couldn't even win the belt. But he's been trying to defend his case. He showed multiple negative tests, four to be exact, that were conducted before the fight. And he also is identifying that Devin Haney has been illegally rehydrating 18%, over 18% of his fighting weight. So there's just so much like mudslinging going on by both camps. Bill Haney, Devin Haney's father, is like everywhere. It's just a lot going on. Based on what I'm hearing, he says that he's open to a rematch, but Devin Haney is ducking smoke. So Ryan Garcia is also looking to fight the likes of Jake Paul and or Errol Spence, just because he's a competitor and he's just trying to uphold his legacy.
So, how do you feel like this affects Ryan Garcia's legacy?
Well, prior to this fight, he was 24-1. So assuming he missed, well, he already missed weight, so that's like assuming he was on PEDs or whatnot, that can obviously it can have an impact. But Devin Haney was still getting pieced up, so PEDs or not, you was getting pieced up pretty badly. So I would say it's it probably if they're gonna change the decision to a no contest maybe and then run it back in the future. But I mean, outside of that, his legacy shouldn't really be shot, in my opinion.
So, do you think he was using peas?
I think he was using something that had samples of like illegal substances, but I don't think he was deliberately. I don't think he was deliberately doping.
When I look at the Ryan Garcia situation, one thing that was apparent to me is like throughout the whole thing, like uh kind of similar to Tyson Fury. It seemed like he was trolling the whole, oh, I'm not really working out, I'm not really preparing for fight, this is easy, blase blase. And then for him to come out as like, yeah, you were on PEDs and yes, you missed weight severely. It's like, okay, enough of the funny stuff. It's like at the end of the day, you're a competitor and there's rules and regulations you gotta abide by.
Right.
Isn't celebrity boxing. You're a real boxer competing for real belts. So when stuff like this happens, I think the internet stuff, it looks like the internet stuff kind of got to his head and he kind of focused on that more than he should have. And I think he knew that as well. Because at the end of the day, he got into this for boxing, not to be a socialite.
Well, we don't know that for to be true. He wants to be a socialite.
It
Uh,
may be.
maybe. But speaking of which, the Spirit of Boxing you mentioned, he actually won the Spirit of Fighting Award. Well, he was a recipient at the Guild Hall. Trying to get into the specifics of what this award is given for, but obviously, I guess that's like a silver lining on his end.
Okay, I don't really know what the Spirit of Fighting Award is, but, that's cool that he got that. I mean, I
Yeah.
wish him success and I hope things get better for him in the future. But you mentioned Jake Paul earlier. I believe Jake Paul set to fight Mike Tyson pretty soon, right?
Yes, just to, before we get there, so the Spirit of Fighting Award is given for his influence and efforts in boxing. He was honored in the UK at the House of Parliament, and he spoke in front of more than 20 leaders. So, yeah, he was very emotional, but yeah.
Okay, salute to him.
Hmm.
All right, but let's
Hmm.
talk about this Jake Paul Mike Tyson situation.
Yes, so Mike Tyson had a health scare. He had an ulcer flare. He was on the flight, and he had an ulcer flare 30 minutes before landing that made him nauseated and dizzy, according to his representatives. Uh, he claims that he's not at 100%. No, he said that he's at 100%, but he doesn't have to be Jake Paul. So, funny enough, Ryan Garcia has tossed his hat in the ring, pun intended or not. In the event that Mike Tyson can't compete, he wants to fight Jake Paul as a substitute.
Really, Jake Paul versus Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia, Jake Paul don't do that. Jake Paul does not want to fight a young boxer who has 24, maybe 25 wins. He don't want to do that.
Well, maybe. I mean, hey, maybe he does. I think
You
Jake
think
Paul's trying to take. I think he's trying to take it seriously.
you think Jake Paul will be able to contend with Ryan Garcia?
I think he can survive a few rounds. He'll probably lose with the payday. Some legal money.
If I'm Jake Paul, I'm not doing it. You know, he's fought UFC fighters, retired professionals. I think we need to see Jake Paul fight somebody who's actually his age before he starts trying to fight with people who won actual belts in the WBC, WA, and things of that nature.
Hey, I don't. I It's hard to disagree with you. But speaking of opposing, Ryan Garcia did offer to run it back with Devin Haney, but Devin Haney's ducking his smoke, like I said. But there's a potential Errol Spence matchup on the horizon, so that's something to look out for. Errol Spence versus Ryan Garcia.
Why do you think Devin Haney doesn't want to run it back?
I think he realizes that he lost clearly. Maybe it wasn't fair and square, but you already lost. So in the event that, let's say, they run it back and he gets beat worse, it's like, yeah, bro, it's looking slow for you. And the money might not be there in his eyes. We don't know. But
Hmm.
in that same vein, Usyk and Fury, they're gonna run it back in December.
I believe the UAE put them both on like a injury suspension for a little bit, but them running it back in December be exciting. I know Fury definitely has a chip on his shoulder after this. He knows that everybody's viewing him as, in a sense, unserious based off of how
Right,
this fight went because you're 6'9", that size, and you've always won off of your knockout power. But now we see that you can be beaten. So now the ball's in
right.
is the ball is essentially in his court to prove that he can fight and win against
No,
Usyk.
for sure. Right. I'm looking forward to it. I've I've seen a few Usyk fights, and I like his style of fighting. He's very driven, very motivated, a real scrappy, endurance type of guy. So I'll keep an eye out for him if they actually one day run it back in December. I'm looking forward to that.
Definitely be something interesting to see. But let me shift our attention a little bit. College players can now get paid for real, only
Like,
by sponsors, but also by the universities. The NCAA had a multi-dollar settlement that allows schools to pay their players. You're going to be seeing players making more than coaches like they're professionals, coming straight out of college. So, in a sense, I think this will be a G League killer. um, because the G League going to
Mm.
be able to compensate as well as the players will be able to get with the brand of the NCAA behind them. Because I mean, me personally, I've never turned on the TV to watch a G League game. I will watch an NCAA March Madness game any day of the week.
You made a really good point there. I didn't even think about that before. But in that same token, this may all just be because in the G League you have like former NBA players and like older gentlemen as well. So maybe that aspiration for more accurate depictions of competitors may that might swing the pendulum in one way or another. But coming off the heels of the G League Ignite team folding, so the Scoot Hendersons and Jonathan Kamingas and how they took the G League path, that's no longer available now, and the NCAA is now doing the settlement. This may be a means of honestly the like D2 basketball players might even get a little more shine now because the D1 programs might be housing all the would be G League talent, and then from there the D2 players might grow in their platforms as well because they can probably transfer upwards and just it's just like an upward trajectory in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's definitely well said. I mean, we looked at how some of these players were getting paid based off of their March Madness performances from different things like ads with Buffalo Wild Wings, Nike, ESPN. Um, when I look at the overall landscape, it looks like what's clear is there's going to be multiple different routes to go.
Yep.
Um, I believe the G League is going to be around, correct?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right. So fresh out of high school, you could go to the NCAA, play for a collegiate team, actually get paid to earn your degree if you want to stay for 4 years. Or if you're just trying to stay for a year before you go fully professional, you can do that as well and make money as well. Um,
Right.
and then on top of that, you have the overseas route. You have the players coming from Europe. You have the French leagues, the Lithuanias, the Czech Republic, all those different leagues, and that's where you're getting these players that we've never seen before, like Victor Wembanyama, Luka Doncic a few years ago,
Right.
Giannis, and
Right.
things of that nature.
Right. You
So
hit the nail on the head there.
yeah, I think the basketball landscape is going to be very interesting to look at in the next like 10 to 15 years to see how these decisions overall impact. But I think ultimately more American players stay with the NCAA. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if overseas are attracted to the NCAA after this huge settlement because now money is going to be there. And if we know anything about the players in the NCAA, where there's a market for them to make money, they make a significant amount of money very quickly.
Yeah, and I think it also kind of helps you maintain that you can get the college, you can still get the college experience, such as like being around your friends, travel, like going to different campuses, connecting that way, building that network. Because not all college hoopers go pro. Unfortunately, some actually take jobs at like law firms and stuff. So it's like just even being able to still get compensated while forging your own path in a different career space, I think that's amazing.
Yeah. Um, I'm interested to see how big the 5-star deals are going to be in the next few years. Let's shift a little bit. Let's talk about what's going on in the NFL. What's going on with Harrison Butker?
So, fresh off his Super Bowl ring, I guess he was called in to be a commencement speaker at uh Benedictine College, a Catholic liberal arts school in Atchison, Kansas. And the man said a lot of different. He made a lot of statements about a lot of different things, from COVID to gender roles and everything in between. Some of the comments he made, for example. Uh, he said that women who have had the most women have been told the most diabolical lies, and let's see. I'll give you the quote. How many of you are sitting here now, about to cross the stage, and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I will venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I'm not gonna lie to you. Even reading this, it sounds crazy.
Wow.
um, yeah, I'm trying to get some more sound bites, but it's pretty nuts.
So he was basically saying that uh, people shouldn't worry about the jobs, but should be more focused on their families.
Yeah. Let me give you some spark notes. He emphasized traditional gender roles, urging female graduates to prioritize becoming homemakers and celebrating. And then he also made mention of his own wife, who's been focusing on being a mother rather than the career aspect of things. He then, in the same speech, told the male graduates to embrace traditional masculinity and resisting what he has described as the cultural emasculation of men. He made statements about various social issues such as abortion, IVF, surrogacy, and Pride Month. Refers to them as promoting deadly sins. Additionally, he spoke against diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, calling them a form of tyranny, and labeled President Joe Biden delusional for his stance as abortion rights as a Catholic. Uh, the NFL is trying to separate themselves from Butker's stance and stating that his views were personal and not representative of the. This is crazy. The NFL has said that his views are personal and not representative of the league's commitment to inclusion and diversity. The Chiefs coach Andy Reid and some of his teammates have defended Butker's right to express his opinion. I don't know what's going on in Kansas City, but it seems like everything's just going haywire. You got the Rasheed Rice stuff, Xavier Worthy got robbed, and now Harrison Butker. There's so much going on. There's so much going on. This is nuts. Absolutely nuts. What do you
Yeah.
think?
This is this is definitely different. I didn't know the direction you were going when you started talking because I haven't looked at this too much. But I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I was like, he's saying people should focus less on work and families. I was like, okay, that sounds like a good message. And then you kept going, and you were like, uh, gender roles, and then you start talking about DEI. I was like, oh,
Yep.
it went from a good heartfelt message to something that it shouldn't have, something that it absolutely shouldn't have been. But the real question is, do you think Harrison Butker is going to have a job after this in the NFL?
I mean, yeah, because let's keep it 100. The there's a lot of individuals in the league that think like him and just don't say it.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I even think the Chiefs, like I said, the Chiefs are trying to separate themselves from the whole league is trying to yeah, these are his thoughts. He works here as a kicker. So when he's not kicking footballs, this is none of our business. Um, but whew, this was a former sideline reporter, Lisa Guerrero, said, "Hey NFL, if you want to continue growing your female fan base and any other marginalized group, pretty white men are already watching your product. Come get your boy." So he went on to
Oh,
tell the graduates,
I didn't even think about this. He's in Kansas City. This is the
yes,
epicenter of where the Swifties are going to come from. And he's saying this?
yes. He
Oh,
made statements that his wife would agree to her. His wife that his wife would agree that her life is truly. Wait, what? He went on to tell the graduate that his wife would agree that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as nah, he's going in. He said his wife's life started once she became a wife and a mother. It is her embrace of this role that made his own professional success possible. He's geeking, dog.
yeah, that's definitely different. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm surprised to say this, especially at a university commencement. It was like one of the worst places you could say that outside of just posting it on social media, in my opinion. Um, I- I'm interested to see how things will shake up before the season starts because you can't just when you make a mistake, you can't just put a bandage on things and say, "Oh, these are not our views." Well, he's an employee of your team. People are going to associate him with the Kansas City Chiefs. People are going to think that the Kansas City Chiefs view and operate this way behind closed doors. And unless they do something that's a bit more drastic than saying these are not our views. I know Patrick Mahomes has come out and said something. I know Travis Kelsey has come out and said something. Uh, it's it's not enough. I'll be surprised if something else can happen before the season. And I don't know if Harrison Butker will still be a kicker in Kansas City after this. But
Yes, they're saying that he made very misogynistic stances. Patrick Mahomes said that he. Wait, hold on. Actually, Patrick Mahomes says he's known him for 7 years, and I judge him by the character trait that he shows every single day. And that's a good person. That's someone who cares about the people around him, cares about his family, and wants to make a good impact in society. When you're in the locker room, there's a lot of people from a lot of different areas, a lot that have a lot of different views on everything. And we're not always going to agree with. There's certain things that he said that I don't necessarily agree with, but I understand the person that he is. It's a whole bunch of PC stuff. Nobody's really standing on what they really think. They're trying to button everything up. Harrison Bucker hit the button on y'all. He was like, "Yeah, this is what I believe, and you should believe it too." And now everyone's up in arms.
he basically told him, "This is what I believe. Do something about it." And
Yeah,
we'll see if the NFL reacts.
bro.
Um,
More. A lot of people believe this in the league, believe it or not. This is what
mm,
they just are either afraid to say it or don't have the proper to say it.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how this unfolds. Yeah, this will be interesting to see. But speaking of things that'll probably shock the league, C. Lamb is looking to reset the wide receiver market with a deal. Talk to me.
So, the cream of the crop rises to the top. Amon Ra got paid, Devonta Smith got paid, and they're like tier two, tier three, but the tier one guy, nah, Amon Ra is like tier one, but the upper S tier wide receivers, CD Lamb, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, are all waiting on their deals. And CD Lamb is saying once Jamar Chase gets paid, my contract is going to beat that. Basically, remember when Jalen Hurts got his money? And then Lamar said, "Yeah, just put a couple, yeah, give me that with a few more zeros." So that's the same thing. So basically, Jamar Chase is going to set the tone, and CD Lamb is going to beat the market.
What do you think CeeDee Lamb is gonna go for his deal?
Probably around 32 to 33 million a year. If Tyreek getting 30 million, I think I see Lamb. He's younger and he just had the best year of his career. He probably wants something in that range as well.
Hmm. I know some other wide receivers on some deals around that range. I believe San Francisco. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Brandon Ayuk, he said he wants Tyreek Hill money and he's not going to OTAs. So pay your talent. Pay your talent.
Yeah, it's looking kind of like now, kind of like the inverse of what the running back market is for wide receivers. It seems like now wide receivers can demand what they want, and wide receivers are looking to be making closer to QB money than people really think. 30 million a year is a lot of money.
Oh, for
I mean,
sure.
wide receiver. I mean, QBs make like 50, but 30 is still a lot of money for one person who doesn't touch the ball on every snap. Um,
Yep.
and the direction this is going, I'm not going to be surprised if next NFL season there's an expansion to the budget for what teams spend again, and this is a continual thing rolling on every because you're gonna have however many receivers making 30 million a year now, and then you're gonna have the next generational talents coming a few years after that, and so on and so on. It's gonna snowball.
Yeah, it's like the NBA. It's like contracts in the NBA. Jalen Brown, Damian Lillard, Devin Booker, they're making so much bread. Jason Tatum, they're making so much bread right now. Shay, oh my goodness. Ant, what Ant? Oh my goodness. Like this next wave of hoopers are going to be making insane amounts of money. Absolutely bonkers. And it's the same thing in the NFL. Like Marvin Harrison Jr., once his rookie deal is over, he might be getting like 35 million a year.
Hey,
Just
you you might be onto
yeah.
something there, and I
Unless,
wonder how long.
yeah. Oh yeah, unless they correct the market, this is gonna be going on for a long time.
So wait, is there a salary cap in the NFL
Yeah, there
for
is.
like a contract cap, like what you can pay a player in a
I think
contract?
it I think it's scaled based off the CBA. I need to get into the specifics, but essentially the market is set and you always want to reset the market
Hmm.
over and over and over again. So if if Odell got 30, Jamar Chase is getting 35. If Jamar Chase got 35, Justin Jefferson's in 40. If Justin Jefferson's in 40, Tyreek Hill's in getting 45. It just keeps on beat that, beat that, beat that, beat that, beat that. Unless you take a pay cut to like, feed the rest of the crop. But that's typically how the market is set.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of $1 million contracts in like 20, 30 years.
Yeah, there
I'm
were
not gonna lie.
talks of there were talks of like $100 million deal being like something. I gotta find the link, but there was like, oh yeah, because $100 million annual NBA player salary be coming soon. Um,
Mm.
I- listen, man, this is nuts. It's absolutely bonkers.
It's really gonna be interesting to see how things shake up in that regard. Um, but let's talk about a different type of deal, rookie deals. About Sam Bradford.
So back in the day, Sam Bradford signed his rookie contract, and essentially it was a 6 year $78 million deal.
Wait, as a
And this
rookie?
is
As a rookie? Wait,
yes, yes, yes. This is a decade ago, and this is why things haven't changed to prevent this from happening again. But yeah, Sam Bradford, he signed a 6 year, $78 million deal as a rookie, and the CBA made drastic changes to the amount of money players can be can make on the rookie deal, and they had the what it's called a wage scale, and the contract given to a first overall pick still falls short of the value received by the last first overall pick of the pre-wage scale era. So pretty much, Trevor Lawrence signs his rookie deal, 4 year, 36 million. Right, the full amount is guaranteed and all that. But 11 years prior to that, Sam Bradford signed a 6 year, $78 million deal with a maximum value of 86 million. 50 million of that deal was guaranteed. Before taking a snap, he was $50 million in the bank. So That's a $4 million jump per year compared to Trevor Lawrence.
Hmm.
Uh, so it's just crazy because after that, the first year following that, Cam Newton signed a 4-year, $22 million deal. Also, a number one overall pick. A lot better than Sam Bradford. Made a lot less money. So it's just crazy to just paint a picture of how Sam Bradford was the last to benefit from it, and everyone else since then has kind of been screwed.
Yeah, I mean, I think that from the league's perspective, having a cap on what the rookies can make, even as first overall picks, makes sense. Um, for them at least financially, because you give a rookie $78 million for 6 years. Where do we go from there for veteran players? Because you have rookies making what 15 million a year, but you got veteran players who are making a fraction of that, who are
Yep,
actually producing these actual results. So does that mean Sam Bradford is the highest paid rookie of all time?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
That's why, as a running back, if you don't go in the first round, good luck getting paid. So, like Bijan, Jameer Gibbs, they need to be exuberant because they have a pretty long leash and they get a lot of money behind them.
Hmm. Yeah. And then also in that same token, I wonder who the lowest paid rookie is. Is it always the Mr. Irrelevant of that year?
I mean, not always. You can put, you can go, you might go undrafted, and yeah, typically if you go undrafted, you're probably gonna make a couple 100,000. The minimum salary is 660K. So
Really?
somebody, yeah.
Hmm.
So Sam
Okay.
Bradford's rookie, yeah. So because of these new rules, Sam Bradford's rookie deal will never be topped.
Okay. And then, so how was the structure of the rookie deals back in Sam Bradford's day? Was there like no like cap or structure?
So before the CBA in 2011, rookies were given large contracts without playing a snap in the NFL. Uh, Trying to get some more information. One second, because the collective bargaining agreements change the rules and adjust things time and time again. So it's NFL rookie contract. How were contracts before Sam Bradford? As I'm getting more information, because I remember the likes of like Jamarcus Russell and the other like number one overall picks used to hold out to get deals done, so they might miss a couple weeks of rookie camp and stuff. But yeah, after Sam Bradford, they tightened that belt.
I can only imagine. They probably the league felt like they had egg on their face. They were probably wondering, how did we let this happen? Where did we go wrong?
Yeah,
But I completely get it. They should have a tighter leash on something like that, or the league as a whole will lose money. It's like a leaking valve.
yeah, because yeah, I mean, 6 year, $78 million deal without playing a single snap is nuts.
Yeah, no, absolutely ridiculous.
But I think it's about that time we. Speaking of rookie deals and NFL contracts, Cable Williams was drafted by the Bears on one overall. The Bears of the NFC North. I think it's time to take a look at this division and see how it shakes up. What do you think?
Yeah. Let's let's now take a second. Let's talk about the over under win predictions. So this is a new thing we're gonna be doing. We're gonna for the next like I guess what eight there's eight divisions, eight podcasts.
Yeah,
We're gonna guess whether we're at the line set by the powers that be. I don't know who sets these lines. Whether we think a team will go over or under the win prediction.
yep.
Okay,
Let's see.
so we're gonna be looking at the NFC North. Um, for the teams in the NFC North are the Bears, the Lions, the Vikings, and the Packers. So first off, let's talk about the Chicago Bears. Right now, the line is set at 8.5 wins.
Yep. So 9-4. And looking at their schedule, well, from from the jump, they got to play you got your six divisional games. Two against the Vikings, two against the Packers, two against the Lions. I think they go 4-2 amongst that crop, and then the other opponents are. Let me look. Bears schedule. They play the AFC South. So you got a match. Oh, no, that's preseason. Oh no. They play the AFC South. So you got the matchup against the Titans. I'll give the Bears a W there. You got the matchup against Houston. You take an L there. The Bears and the Colts. Ooh. I think I'm gonna give the Bears a W there. So that's 2-1. You take it out to the Rams. You beat the Panthers. That's 3-2. You beat Jacksonville. You beat Washington. That's 5-2. Bears and Cardinals. I think y'all take that one. That's 6-2. Y'all beat New England 7-2. Bears of Green Bay. I see y'all split. So that's 8-3. You beat Minnesota twice. That's 10-3. You split with Detroit. That's 11-4. You lose to San Fran. That's 11-5. And you beat Seattle. So 12-5. Wow. Saying that sounds crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna just say they go over 8.5. I don't know if they get 12 wins, but I think they go over 8.5.
I think they'll definitely go over 8.5 as well. I'm definitely taking the over there on the Bears. The next team we'll look at is the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions have a line of 10.5 wins.
10.5 wins. Yes, they do. And let's look at their schedule. So, you got your six divisional games. You beat the Lions twice. You split with Green Bay. You split with Chicago. So that's what, three and you beat the Lions. You beat the Vikings twice. Split with Green Bay. Split with Chicago. So that's 4-2. And then you face off against Tampa Bay. I think you get the W there. Oh, no. Week 1 against the Rams. I thought that's the L. Tampa Bay week 2, I think you get the W there. You got Arizona week 3, I think you get the W there. Seattle week 4, I think you get the W there. Oh, that Dallas game's interesting. Oh, I'm gonna give that to Dallas, so that's what 3-2. And then you beat Minnesota, that's 4-2. You beat Tennessee 5-2. Beat You beat Green Bay 6-2. You lose to Houston 6-3. You beat Jacksonville 7-3. You beat Indy 8-3. Beat Chicago 9-3. You lose to the Packers and the Bills. So that's 9-5. You might lose to you lose to Chicago 9-6. You lose to San Fran 9-7. And then you beat Minnesota week 18 10-7. So that would give me the Detroit. Detroit's line is at 10.5.
10.5. Yeah.
Wow. I'll take the under.
Taking the under on Detroit. Interesting.
Yeah. I think they win 10.
Hmm. I think Detroit will also go over. I know that their schedule is a little beefier and harder this season, but I think one of those they're gonna catch a break on. I think that Detroit is a lot stronger of a team than people believe, and they're just only going to build on the momentum from last season. But
Hard
let's
for me
talk
to
about the
argue. Hard for me
yes,
to
but
argue
let's
with that.
yeah, but let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers have a line of 9.5 wins.
All right, let me see. Let me look at their schedule. Off the top of my head, like I said, I think they go 3-3 with the NFC North. So that's 3 wins and 3 losses already. And then outside the division, you got Philly, that's a L. Indy, that's a W, so that's 4-4. You beat Tennessee, that's 5-4. You lose to the Rams, that's 5-5. Ooh, that Cardinals game is gonna be interesting. Oh man, that's gonna be a good one. I'll give that one to the Packers at 6-5. Uh, they lose to Houston, that's 6-6. They beat Jacksonville, that's 7-6. They lose to San Fran, that's 7-7. They beat Miami, that's 8-7. They beat Seattle 9-7, and they beat the Saints 10-7. So I'll take the over 9.5.
So I think that the Packers are actually going to
Under, okay. I'm listening.
yeah. I think that they have a lot of momentum from last year, but they still have a relatively young core. Yes, that was able to shine through in the playoffs last season, but when I'm looking at the Packers now, I think those teams with tougher defenses, and when you look at teams like Seattle, they have a defensive mind like Mike McDonald. I don't think they're gonna win in situations like that.
Good point. Good point. I feel like you're making some good logic there, but hey, if they can roll off this momentum of the playoff run, they almost beat San Fran. One
They did.
crucial turnover, so maybe they can shock the world. I feel like the Packers. I feel like I was writing the Packers off a lot last year, and I feel like I shouldn't do that this year. And what you add, Josh Jacobs, Jaden Reed takes a step forward. Dontavian Wicks takes a step forward, and your other weapons take a step forward. I mean, hey, things are be looking up.
Hey, they might be. They might be. So the last team I wanted to talk to you about is the Minnesota Vikings. They have a line of 6.5 wins.
Oh, I only got to look at the schedule. I'm taking the over, but
Really?
for the sake of I only 6 wins, 6.5 wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even. I think they go over, but just for the sake of transparency, let me see. They got okay. They opened up the season against the Giants. That's a W. They lose to San Fran. They lose to Houston. So that's 1-2. They split with the Packers. So that's 2-3. Oh, that Jets game. I'm gonna give it to them. I think they beat the Jets. So that's three and
Mm.
three. Yeah,
In England?
they beat the Jets. Yes, I think they beat the Jets in England. That's 3-3. They split with the Lions. That's 4-4. They lose to the Rams 4-5. They beat the Colts and the Jaguars, so that's 6-5. They beat the Texans
Really?
at 7. Yes, yes. They beat the Texans at 7-5. They split with the Bears, so that's that's 8-6. That Cardinals game, man. Give me Arizona. They beat the Cardinals there, so that's eight and
Wait, hold
seven.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Wait. Time out, time out, time out, time out.
I
So
mean,
you think that Minnesota beats the Jaguars, but they lose to the Cardinals?
yes. I like the Cardinals defense more than I like the Jaguars defense. And I
The
feel
Cardinals
like
don't have a good defense.
I trust Jonathan Gannon to coach up a good defense more than Doug Peterson, whoever the defensive coordinator is. Hey, I'm
All right.
I'm allowed to be wrong. We can come back to this. We'll come back to this. The Kirk Cousins revenge game, I think. Mm, give me the Vikings there. I think they beat Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah. I think JJ has a really good rookie year. I don't know. I just feel like things are looking out. But they're gonna lose to the Bears on Sunday Night Football, December 16th. They take it out of Seattle. They take it out of Green Bay, and that last game is losing against Detroit. They're losing that one too. So yeah, after that Falcons game, they're going to 4 game skid, in my opinion. So that's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got them at 7 or 8 wins, and their line is at what
6.5.
6.5. So yeah. Mm.
I disagree with you here. I'm taking the under. I think Minnesota has a horrible year. Um,
Mm.
I like JJ, but I don't like the infrastructure the Vikings have set up. It's been very shaky over the past few years, and I think Kirk Cousins was a lot better than people gave him credit for. They have the weapons and necessary things offensively out there. It's just that my big thing with the Vikings is that it doesn't seem like things seem to click on all cylinders, whether it's because of injuries, scheming, something's going wrong over there.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I'm looking at the roster right now. They added some nice pieces. They got Jonathan Grenard. They got Cameron. No, they got Byron Murphy Jr. They got Jerry Tillery. So yeah, they bolstered up the defense a little bit. You got Aaron Jones in the backfield. You got your if Sam Darnold is starting week 1, a lot of this changes, in my opinion. But if JJ starts a full season, then yeah, I think they can get 7 to 8 wins, in my opinion.
It'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. It'll
Absolutely.
definitely be interesting to see how that shakes out. Um, so talk to me about John Ross. What's going on with John Ross?
So like he retired, and then unretired, and then got to deal with the Eagles. For those of you who don't know, John Ross was one of those generational prospects. So we thought he ran an amazing 40-yard dash, and that was the best thing he did in his career. Didn't really have much success outside of that. He went 12th overall in 2000, I think 18. Let me check. Was it 18 or 17? John Ross went 12th overall in 2000,
He was drafted in
2017. Ninth
yeah.
overall, pardon me. He wears the number 12. Went ninth overall in 2017. Didn't really get much PT in his rookie year. Year 2, he stunk, to keep it 100. And with year 3, he was half decent. But I believe he was suffering from injuries throughout the course of his career. He last played for the Giants in 2021, where he caught 11 passes. He
Oh,
retired he retired unretired, and now he's an Eagle.
I mean, what do things look like for John Ross from here? Do you think he'll success on the Eagles?
I think he'll get a lot of cardio, but that's about it. He's a
Wow.
drive bust, and then he you got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goddard. Yeah, he's not gonna get much done. He's not gonna get much motion in that offense, in my opinion.
Can we really call him a draft bust already?
Yes, it's been 7 years.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, yes, he retired, but who knows? Have we seen players have a successful career after returning before?
I mean, Tom Brady. I guess.
Wait, Tom Brady retired?
Uh,
Oh yeah, yes he did. Yes he did. Yeah, I remember that for like
uh,
a couple
Mar-
days.
Marshawn Lynch. I guess, kinda, somewhat.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I can't really think of a player that like fully retired. Well, he retired and came back in like 30 days. So it's like I don't know. Um, I don't have much expectations for John Ross. He'll get his fair. He'll get his fair share of cardio. That's about it.
Hmm.
Yeah. What's his name? Marshawn Lynch retired, then played two. He unretired and played two more seasons, and then he also played a little bit. So yeah, three more seasons following retirement.
Hmm. Okay. I mean, I wish John Ross the best. I like a good comeback story. It would be great if over these past few years, like things really shifted for him because I'm seeing the last year he really played was like 2021 was the last time it looks like he touched the field.
Yeah.
Um, so hopefully things are looking up for him now. Sometimes it just takes a mindset shift, and to put in the work. And he has the natural talent. So maybe now that he's a bit older, he has that necessary experience to navigate the league. In that way, that'll be beneficial for him.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but prior to Xavier Worthy breaking the 40-yard dash record, John Ross was the initial record holder, running a
Mm.
4.22.
Yeah,
So that was also a big part as to why he got drafted so high, because he went at 4.22 40-yard dash.
yeah.
Um,
Track speed isn't football speed, though.
yeah, and you know what's sick? Right before John Ross, Christian McCaffrey went eighth. Christian McCaffrey went eighth overall, and right
Mm.
after John Ross, Patrick Mahomes went 10th overall. So
Wait, who drafted John Ross?
the Bengals.
Is that GM still working?
Let's see. I want to say yes but let me just see. Bengals GM is Duke Tobin. Duke Tobin has been the GM for the Bengals since 1999, director of player personnel. So yeah.
Wow.
Mm,
Yeah, wow. I want to say that's quite unfortunate that you have such prolific players to be drafted right before and right after you. But
yeah.
hey, but let's get into some quick thoughts before we get up out of here.
All right, shoot.
Um, so I'm gonna throw some things at you and let me know what you think. And yeah, so
All
the
right, sure.
NFL is eyeing a possible regular season game in Australia. What do you think about that?
I think money talks. The cash is there. I mean, they're trying to do a full-on European division. So this is, I mean, I know Australia is not Europe, but like an overseas division. They're just trying to expand the game to the best of their ability. So like, I like it, but rather you gotta do scrimmages or something.
Valid. The next thing is the NFL is set to test optical tracking systems for line to gain rulings in preseason with eyes towards 2024 implementation.
I mean, it sounds good. This just reminds me of when they tried to do the pass interference challenging, and that lasted a year. So we'll see how long this lasts. Again, it sounds good. It seems interesting, but some they struggle implementing things sometimes. The NFL. So good luck.
That's fair. And the last thing I'll leave you with before we get out of here is Marcus Mariota is making history by wearing number 0 in Washington for the Commanders.
Cool. Interesting. I'm sure he's not going to get much PT, but that might be why he's wearing the zero because he's taking zero snaps at quarterback.
0 snaps at quarterback is crazy. I mean, I think Marcus Mariota being there with Jaden Daniels be great mentorship for him
Yeah, for
because
sure.
he had that two-way ability with passing and running, and the trend is towards dual threats, and you have to pay homage to those who crawled so that the QBs now can run.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, man. But all right, on that note, thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Fever Pitch Podcast. If you aren't already, please follow us on Instagram. Check out us on YouTube if you're listening to this on audio only. And Yeah, thank you guys for listening to this episode of Fever Pitch Podcast, and we will catch you guys next time. Peace.
Take care. God bless.